As we've discussed in our recent video, is the WWE in panic mode? The WWE is fighting to find a way out of its ratings slump and poor live event attendance. Inevitably, things boil down as to whether Vince McMahon needs to step back or even step down from running the wrestling empire he helped build. However, rumblings seem to be coming from Vince's son-in-law himself that it's time for Vince to step down. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at how Triple H has shown that he wants Vince to retire. Recently, a fan by the name of Shane-A-Mania's Running Wild posted the following message on Twitter. A message Triple H liked, presumably indicating his approval of the content. I truly believe that if WWE talent can hang in there till Vince switches to his XFL pipe dream next year, and assuming Triple H switches to main roster control, things will actually improve. It's a way away, but a hard reset and post-Fox deal growing pains would do wonders in my opinion. Helmsley, who serves as the WWE's Executive Vice President of Talent, Live Events and Creative, subsequently unliked the post, but a screenshot was taken preserving Helmsley's apparent approval. Incredibly, Helmsley has responded the same way with similar tweets. In early May, a fan named Richard Gutierrez tweeted, "Vince McMahon may be the problem with the Raw and SmackDown ratings isn't due to wrestlers injured. It's that you put confusing and pointless storylines. Although it wouldn't hurt you if you gave your wrestlers insurance. Just a thought," as he tagged in Stephanie McMahon, Triple H and WWE. Helmsley reportedly liked the tweet, then unliked it, and again, it was preserved thanks to a screenshot being taken. Is Triple H taking some veiled shots at Mr. McMahon for his handling of the WWE and what he may see as the cause for its current situation? Before we get into that, let's look at the WWE's current situation. The WWE finds itself under the sword of Damocles, an ancient saying which Dictionary.com defines as, "This expression alludes to the legend of Damocles, a servile courtier to the king Dionysius I of Syracuse. The king, wary of Damocles' obsequious flattery, invited him to a banquet and seated him under a sword hung by a single hair, so as to point out to him the precariousness of his position." Reporter and wrestling historian Mike Mooneyham recently covered the WWE's current status, noting its lucrative TV rights deal. Its 2-hour SmackDown show, which airs on Tuesday nights, will move to Fox Broadcast Network on Friday nights, beginning October 4th. The blockbuster deal reportedly will earn WWE more than $1 billion over the course of the next 5 years. WWE and the USA Network also agreed last year to a 5-year extension for Raw that will begin in October and continue the nearly 30-year relationship between WWE and NBC Universal. However, Mooneyham also noted, all of which of course makes it even more of a priority to maintain strong viewership. It's been rumoured that WWE could lose its deal with Fox should it fail to meet a certain ratings threshold, and the USA Network has reportedly told the WWE it needs to fix its ratings problem. The WWE has its own version of the sword of Damocles hanging over its head, as a continued ratings slide could devastate the company's TV deals. The loss of income could further damage the WWE's standing on Wall Street. But not everyone thinks the ratings are the alpha and omega of the WWE's business empire. Jim Varsalone of the Miami Herald argues, "As for the ratings, the landscape has programming changed with the internet and social media. The amount of programs on TV and other places at a given time, and the various ways to watch a program has changed. I've been saying this for a while. You cannot just gauge Raw viewership by the Nielsen ratings. That's just one factor of how many people are watching." Nonetheless, the WWE shareholders seem to feel otherwise, as does Wall Street, with the WWE stock tumbling after its first quarter earnings report. McMahon tried to explain the WWE's problems, relying on the often repeated excuse, "We had a very unusual situation in terms of top talents, as well as mid-card talents being out. Some 15 talents were out during the course of that period. When you don't have talent, you don't have storylines. When you don't have storylines, you're not going to do that well in terms of live events and television ratings. It was like a cascade of things that happened. We've hired new people on our writing team. They are really going to help us out in terms of television ratings, and digital and social. We've got a new team in terms of live events that have just started now, so we'll see live events continue on an upward trend. Despite McMahon's excuses, many fans and industry insiders see the problem coming from one person, Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Whether it's a case of McMahon letting someone help him or McMahon stepping down from the WWE, the WWE's problems are going to continue as long as McMahon has the final say. Vince McMahon seems to be going all in on his second attempt at running a professional football league. McMahon recently sold $272 million worth of WWE stock to help fund the new league, and has said he's ready to spend $500 million over the first 3 years of the XFL to get the league off the ground. There's no question how much McMahon wants to make the XFL succeed, and while many are skeptical about its success, some fans see it as a possible way for the WWE to thrive in McMahon's absence. Were McMahon to focus his energies on his new football league, someone would presumably take over the running and creative end of the WWE. However, even so, the problem is that the XFL is still months away, which means we may have months of Mr. McMahon left. Even more troubling is the idea that Vince might feel the need to somehow devote his energies to both the WWE and the XFL, which is likely to kill two birds with one stone, or here, two businesses with one McMahon. To be fair, it's difficult to gauge Hunter's feelings based on 2 likes of tweets suggesting Vince needs to go. Some have argued Helmsley might have inadvertently liked a tweet, then realised his mistake and unliked it. This is certainly possible in one instance, but less so when it comes to 2 similar tweets. Although fans and insiders have been saying that McMahon should step down for years, fans are intrigued by the idea that Triple H, not only a longtime WWE wrestler, but a member of Vince's family, may agree. Does Helmsley agree that it's time for the 73-year-old Vince to step down from the WWE? The tweet suggests yes, but at the same time, fans should recall a recent interview Helmsley participated in with the Sports Business Journal last April, where he said, "He has the most incredible work ethic of any person I have ever seen. It's impossible to hang out with him on a long-term basis, even at 73. It's crazy. Still trains every day, still does everything. But he's hands-on on so many things, not because he micromanages or not because he can't let people succeed or do things, but when it comes to the creative and shows, he's still at Raw and SmackDown every week, because that's the part he loves. He found himself later as a businessman, but that's what he loves to do. He's awesome at it, and it's his passion. He won't give that up. Not because he should, it's his passion. It's being a songwriter. He's always going to want to collaborate and work on a song. Always. So does Helmsley support the idea that Vince should step down? It's difficult to imagine McMahon stepping down and entrusting the WWE to someone else. While Triple H has been praised for his work in building up NXT and its product, there's no guarantee Vince would hand him the keys to the kingdom. As desperate as things are and as desperate as they could get, McMahon has repeatedly shown an unwillingness to give anyone the final say in his wrestling empire he built up. McMahon is stubborn, and even family members could find themselves in a difficult situation, whether to suggest or even argue that he lets someone else handle the WWE's creative side. In the event that Triple H or anyone else in that matter, ranging from Stephanie McMahon to Shane McMahon to a faction, were to take over, he would still have to deal with the likelihood of Vince McMahon asserting authority over the finished product. McMahon has repeatedly frustrated his writers and wrestlers by making down-to-the-wire changes to Raw and SmackDown shows, and there's no guarantee he wouldn't do the same with Triple H, regardless of telling Helmsley he has the final say. Triple H would also have to find a way to manage the WWE's 5 hours of weekly programming, besides NXT, a far cry from NXT's 60-minute programs. While it's conceivable Helmsley could manage this, and he has shown an understanding of the history of the business, it could take some time which he might not get. Vince McMahon is a mercurial McMahon, known for dropping things on a whim, and he could drop Triple H if ratings didn't improve right away. It's likely this would encourage Vince to continue doing things his way, resulting in further problems. Whatever the end result, it'll be fascinating to watch the world of social media to see if Helmsley likes any more anti-McMahon tweets, or whether these turn out to be an accident or isolated incident. Rest assured, Wrestlelamia will keep on top of the situation as it progresses. There you have it, guys. how Triple H has shown that he wants Vince to retire. Do you think Triple H could talk Vince into letting him take over the WWE? Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.